Damien Lewis is a guy that I've lost track of, but certainly he has had his stops in the NFL. So the last time we saw him on a college football field, he was part of that beatdown that you have certainly relished on many occasions in New Orleans of the Florida Gators. So he was part of that, moved on to the NFL, had a fine 10-year career, just checked out some numbers, 200 plus tackles from the defensive tackle position, which is not easy to do. And 23 tackles for 23 sacks, 42 TFLs. And now here we are, another decade removed plus, and he has come home to shore up the defensive tackle position.
Yeah, man. So this is the brotherhood that we're talking about. Like everybody says, like when you saw all of the players on the sidelines back in the day, guys in the NFL coming back to Miami to train on campus or, running the hill over at Tropical Park, things like that. Like you want everybody to stick around or, and have a place if earned, and you had Ed Reed was on staff, things like that. And yeah, Damien Lewis, he was a senior my freshman year in 2000. So we did cross paths in general, but not specifically at the University of Miami, but ended up his career, third team All-American, first round NFL draft pick, 10-year career, and then in the NFL, so fully vested in his pension and everything, with some very good statistics and, was on some playoff teams. I don't think he won a Super Bowl championship, but still.
Yeah, he would have lost one. He would have lost that second Rams game against the Patriots.
Yeah. So, something like that. But, dude, he, after ending his playing career, transitioned to coaching. Where did he coach, do you ask? He coached the defensive line for the Seahawks for 3 years. There you go. You know what I mean? Like, and then he left there. They obviously transitioned their staff and, got rid of a bunch of people. And then he was at Colorado for a year. Just continuing to ply his trade. And now he's coming home to Coral Gables. And that's just huge. When that announcement or the reports started, because, in typical Mario Cristobal fashion, there's little in the way of announcements from the University of Miami. But when the reports came out, the multiple reports that Damien Lewis was going to be hired for the staff, there were so many people who immediately were like, this is a great guy. Like he's a Pantheon level, good guy, Hurricane. Like everybody loves him. This is a guy that we want to have here. In the past, like you've seen him attending ball games, like in the front row and like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, just over there with the people because he's a Hurricane through and through, man. So yeah, dude, it's just really, really great. I think, defensive tackles coach and just, defensive line and then tackles specifically, and then assisting overall with the Seahawks, coaching the DL in Colorado last year. And like, I have my issues with Deion Sanders' Colorado team, but one thing, even with that from the media hype, personality shenanigans, right? Colorado's D-line low-key was damn good last year. And I'm going to, give some credit to Damien Lewis for that. Because, they performed pretty well. They were like a top 30 unit, which, I know people are going to say, well, it's not, number one. Hey, that's still pretty darn good, guys. So, and you see that there with his playing career and everything. 4 different teams, in the league for that decade and everything. And this is a guy. This is what you want to see. I know everybody was hurt about Ed Reed leaving, when he was here and everything. This is a guy who has the bona fides to coach here, right? Started it took him a while, obviously from 2010 to 2020. I don't know if he was assisting or whatever in between, right? But this is a guy who coached in the NFL. Right now, I know people are going to say, well, what about Warren Sapp? Warren Sapp was also an assistant over at Colorado. And that was Warren Sapp's first coaching experience. Do I think that eventually he could be? Yeah. Well, and I know the pushback is going to be, well, wait. Jason Taylor wasn't a coach anywhere else. You got me. You're right. But even with all that being said, Damien Lewis has an extensive coaching resume to this point. So, yeah, that fits. And we obviously needed a change at defensive tackles. I was trying to be nice about it because I like Joe Salavea as a person, but like outside of Ahmad Moten, to quote Office Space, what is it that you say you do here? You know what I mean? Like, I love his personality and he's a good guy, Joe Salavea, but like recruiting didn't necessarily go that well. And then you look at the guys who even came in, like a Justin Scott, and then all the talk was like, well, other staff members were the lead on that, and he plays your position. So, I mean, you're not even doing your own shopping on Top Chef. You know what I mean? Like you're outsourcing that to whatever, DoorDash to go get the stuff. So what are you doing? And I think he's a good guy. I think him going back to his alma mater of Arizona to create space for somebody was a good move. And then that someone that we bring in is a homegrown Cane with NFL coaching experience in Damien Lewis. I think that's a home run hire. I think it's another really, really great get. And I'm excited, and he bleeds orange and green. Like I've said, we've seen Damien Lewis attending in the stands multiple games previously, like not even calling the athletic department and being like, yo, hey, let me on the sideline. Nah, hey, if I got to pay for a ticket, I'll go pay for a ticket because I will pay the cost to be the boss and be in the stands with the people. That's what he was willing to do before and is now going to be on staff. I love it.
So I'm guessing the Miami connection for you is a tiebreaker. It's icing on the cake. It's not like, let's go see who's out there that used to be at the U that we can get as a defensive tackles coach.
Yeah, it's not where we start things. I grew up in Michigan, and my uncle and several friends are Michigan men and Michigan women, and like that lead, it's a different mentality, man. Like even in the world of like business, because he is an entrepreneur, my uncle, and owns several businesses and things like that. And he'll take me like, oh, you're a Michigan man. And you could just, it's the foundation from which everything starts. For me, yeah, no, it's definitely like, it's nice to have on the list down around, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but like, we're not going to start there. And I was talking on my other podcast on Friday with Brian the Beast London. And before I recorded that one, I said, you are happy and you are lucky because everybody was talking about potentially having Shannon Dawson, that report that maybe Ohio State was kicking the tires on bringing him up there as offensive coordinator. I said, Brian, and I know Beast, right? And I was like, you have to be the happiest person ever because you and I know if Shannon Dawson would have left, the deluge of comments, emails, super chats, all this stuff about Ken Dorsey to Miami would have been astronomical. So, that's, and only because he started, he was here and like inverting that from like the special seasoning to like the meat of the conversation. So yeah, no, it's a nice thing to have if you can get it, but it's not necessary.
Although Ken Dorsey's career at Buffalo has been pretty impressive. I don't know where he is now. Is he still there?
Nah, he got fired from there because they scapegoated him, and then they brought in the dude from Pembroke Pines who was at LSU, Joe Brady, and then he was in Cleveland and then got scapegoated there also. But again, but if you even took away the fact that he was at Miami, like and played at Miami and was a legend at Miami, been an offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for an MVP Cam Newton, you know what I mean? He has a wealth of experience as well, but simply for the fact that he went to Miami, that would have been right up to the top. And then we would have the conversation again of people saying, well, King Dorsey is not good enough to coach at the University of Miami.